Chapter 2: The Body as a Whole. Please review the following learning outcomes. Lesson 2.1: Composition of Body and Cells. The body is composed of many structures. The whole body, or organism, is composed of organ systems. Organ systems are composed of organs. Organs are composed of tissues. Tissues are composed of cells. Cells are composed in part of organelles. The cell is the building block of a human. A zygote is a single fertilized cell and the beginning of a human being. The result of the fertilization of an egg by a sperm is a single fertilized cell, the zygote. This cell is the origin of every cell in the body. It divides and multiplies into millions of cells that are the basic units of every tissue and organ. Cytology is the study of cellular structure and function. Understanding cell function and structure is the basis for understanding the human body and how it works. Cytologists identify both normal and abnormal cell function and growth. Physicians depend on cytologists to identify abnormal cells in order to treat and care for patients with tissue abnormalities such as cancer. Please destruct cytology and cytologist into its individual forms. Practice pronouncing the following terms. The bolded syllable is where the emphasis occurs in the word. Define the words after pronouncing them correctly. Cytology is the study of the cell. Fertilization means the union of a male sperm and a female egg. Tissue is a collection of similar cells, as previously discussed. Each type of tissue in a particular organ is made up of the same type of cells. Zygote is a cell resulting from the union of a sperm and an egg. Breaking down a word into its elements can assist you in defining the word. Cytologist. Cyto, specialist in the structure, chemistry, and pathology of the cell. Organelle, organ, part of the cell having specialized functions. And then molecular, molecule, a very small particle. Cytology is the study of cellular structure and function. Understanding cell function and structure is the basis for understanding the human body and how it works. Each cell is a small, complex factory carrying out special metabolic tasks, the chemical processes that occur in the cell. The nucleus is the largest organelle of the cell. Most cells have nuclei. Red blood cells do not have nuclei. The DNA responsible for duplicating the cell is found in the nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded and protected by a nuclear membrane. Each nucleus has a nucleus, which is involved in the manufacture of proteins from simple materials, a process called anabolism. Mitochondria, the plural of mitochondrion, are the powerhouses of the cell, producing energy by breaking down glucose and fat, a process called catabolism. Anabolism plus catabolism equals metabolism, the constantly changing physical and chemical process in the cell. Pronounce each of the following terms. Emphasize the syllables in the bold face. Define each one after pronouncing it. Cytoplasm, clear gelatinous substance that forms the substance of a cell and surrounds the nucleus. Deoxyribonucleic acid, better known as DNA, is the source of hereditary characteristics. Mitochondria, organelles that generate, store, and release energy for cell activities. The energy plant of a cell. When looking at these words, identify the roots of the terms. Catabolism, catabole, which means to break down. Ism, suffix, meaning process. Catabolism is the breakdown of complex substances into smaller ones as part of metabolism. Chromosome, chromo means color. Some is a suffix meaning body. Chromosome is the body of the nucleus that contains the DNA and genes. Nucleus, a Latin word meaning command center, functional center of a cell or structure. Lesson 2.2, Tissues, Organs, and Organ Systems. There are 4 primary tissue groups within the body. Connective tissue binds, supports, and protects. Examples of this would be bone, blood, cartilage, and fat. Epithelial tissue protects, secretes, absorbs, and excretes. Skin covers the linings of internal organs and glands. Muscles control movement. These would be examples of epithelial tissue. Muscle tissue. An example would be skeletal muscle, is attached to bones, smooth muscle, and found in internal organs. And cardiac muscle is found in the heart. Nervous tissue transmits impulses for coordination and sensory reception. An example would be the brain, spinal cord, and eyes. Please look at table 2.1 in your textbook for further reference. The knee joint contains all of the different connective tissues and is used to illustrate their functions. What are the 3 bones of the knee joint? The 3 bones are the tibia, the femur, and the patella. What is the difference between cartilage and ligaments? Cartilage is a rubbery, flexible substance. Ligaments are strips or bands of tough connective tissue. What structure attaches muscle to bone? Tendons attach muscle to bone. What purpose does synovial fluid serve? It allows the joint to move freely without friction. It also supplies nutrients to the joint cartilages. All the knee structures are well supplied with nerves, which is why knee injuries are very painful. Please pronounce the bolded terms. The bolded syllable is where the emphasis occurs in the word. For example, capsular, meaning pertaining to a capsule. Collagen, major protein of connective tissue, cartilage, and bone. Periosteum, fibrous membrane covering a bone. Define the term organ system. You should see that an organ system consists of several organs working together to carry out a specific function. Please look at Table 2.2 in your textbook. You need to be able to pronounce each of the organ systems correctly. We're going to deconstruct the term musculoskeletal. The suffix al means pertaining to. The combining form musculo means muscle. The root skelet means skeleton. Therefore, musculoskeletal means pertaining to the muscles and the bony skeleton. As you can see here, if we did not have a skeleton, we would be shapeless and unable to move. The condition of your cardiovascular system will always be a factor in your physical well-being throughout your life. Every cell in your body requires a constant supply of nourishment in a form that can be absorbed across its cell membrane. The digestive system breaks down nutrients into a form that can be transported to the cells and absorbed across the cell membrane. Break down the term homeostasis. The suffix stasis means control or stand still. The combining form home/o means the same. Homeostasis is maintaining the stability of the body's internal environment. An example of this would be the response to stress. When breathing speeds up, so does the heart rate. Why? To provide more oxygen and blood to tissues to allow the stressed person to run from a stressor. Example of this could be the body systems working together, the kidneys, and heart. So in turn, the diseases of the kidneys and heart also work together. Lesson 2.3, Anatomical Positions, Planes, and Directions. Define the term anatomical position. It is when the body is standing erect, that means up tall, with feet flat on the floor, eyes facing forward, and the arms at the sides with the palms facing forward. Try it now. A person who lies down flat on his or her back is supine. We call that supine on the spine. When the palms face forward, A person who lies down flat on his or her belly is prone when the palms face backward. Define the terms proximal and distal. Which structure is superior, the shoulders or hips? The shoulders are superior. Why? Because they are above the hips. There's a similarity of superior and cephalic, inferior and caudal. The root meaning of cephalic being cephal, which means head, and superior meaning above. This is figure 2.7 in your textbook. Proximal meaning closer to the trunk of the body. Distal meaning further away. The trunk of your body would be your head and your body without your appendages being your arms or your legs. That is considered the trunk of your body. Superior, situated above. Inferior, situated below. Proximal, situated nearest to the center of the body. Distal, situated away from the center of the body. Anterior, situated in front, the front surface of the body. Posterior, situated in the back surface of the body. The body is viewed through imaginary slices. There are 3 anatomical planes. The planes are transverse / horizontal, sagittal, and frontal / coronal. Which areas of the body are considered to be superior to and inferior to the transverse plane? Superior is above the waist, inferior is below the waist. Do you see that? This is figure 2.9 in your textbook. Identify the difference between these terms: caudal versus cephalic, supine versus prone, and proximal versus distal. Identify the root and meaning of the following terms: coronal, ventral, dorsal. Coronal, coron, crown, a vertical plane dividing the body into anterior, which would be the front, and posterior, which is the back portions. Ventral, or venter, meaning belly, pertaining to the belly or situated near the surface of the belly. Dorsal, or dorse, pertaining to the back or situated behind. The suffix al means pertaining to. Identify the 5 body cavities: cranial, spinal, thoracic, abdominal, and pelvic. What structures are found in each body cavity? None of these cavities open directly to the outside. There are abdominopelvic, which is the division of the thoracic cavity, and there's the role of the actual diaphragm. Do you see the diaphragm in this picture? The abdomen is divided into 4 quadrants. Please name them. The abbreviations for right upper quadrant is RUQ. For right lower quadrant is RLQ. Left upper quadrant is LUQ. Left lower quadrant is LLQ. In a healthy bowel, vowel sounds will be heard in all 4 quadrants. The mid-abdomen is also divided into 3 regions. You need to be able to name them: epigastric, umbilical, and hypogastric. Epi meaning above, hypo meaning below. Each of the 2 lateral abdominal regions are divided into hypochondriac, below the ribs, lumbar, lateral to the umbilical region, and inguinal, lateral to the hypogastric region. These regions are not shown on diaphragm B, but are shown in figure 210B in the textbook. Using the terms epigastric and hypogastric, let's look at some changes that prefixes give to the word meaning. Epi means above, therefore epigastric means above the stomach. Can you find your epigastric region? Hypogastric means below the stomach. Point to your hypogastric region. Try to find that.